Hi, I'm Madison Hatton. I'm an opera singer and a fitness/wellness enthusiast, and welcome to this series where we explore the hidden architecture behind great human performance. The people, the strategies, the habits that reshape how artists and athletes alike develop and evolve. Every great performer you know, whether on stage, on the court, the field, or even in a presentation, has a team of mirrors reflecting back what they can't see alone. And today, we're talking about one of the most powerful elements in that architecture: coaches. So we all love the idea of a quote-unquote self-made person, but it's really more of a myth. The singer who becomes famous through flawless TikTok covers, the underdog athlete who willed themselves to greatness, or the actress who nonchalantly brings a legendary character to life. But that story's incomplete. The truth is, none of us create in isolation. Every legend on the field, the stage, the court, or on the track is a composite of the people who challenged them, believed in them, and taught them to see more clearly, see themselves more clearly. For example, Michael Jordan had Phil Jackson, a coach who didn't just refine Michael's court IQ, but reshaped his entire mindset around the game. Phil Jackson taught Michael that the success he wanted, which was an NBA championship, wasn't going to come from individual domination, but from trusting his teammates. By the way, I think The Last Dance documentary should be a must-see for every person on this planet. In the classical vocal music world, specifically within opera performance, it's exactly the same. To the world outside of this niche industry, it may seem like making that sound is an ability that just naturally or spontaneously springs forth. But there's actually an entire ecosystem of professionals and specialists behind a singer's voice and craft. My voice teacher helps align the mechanics of my vocal production. My repertoire coach shapes how I use that instrument to make music through phrasing and interpretation. Then there's the conductor who balances the singer's voice within the orchestra through dynamics, tempo, and even color choices. Add in a dramatic coach, director, and my colleagues in rehearsal, and suddenly I have an expansive network reflecting back something that I can't see or hear on my own.
Try starting to close sooner after the B flat. So D, 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 close it up. Okay. Close it up. Okay?
Professional athletes in the traditional reference operate the same way. Take tennis, for example, a sport that looks solitary but isn't, because every player has a head coach, most likely a strength and conditioning coach, a nutritionist, a sports psychologist, sometimes even a recovery specialist. They analyze, refine, and hold the player accountable, not to perfection, but to awareness and adaptation in order for the athlete to progress. Coaching isn't about authority. It's about reflection, a dialogue between trust and challenge that helps you evolve faster than you could alone. Another great example is Misty Copeland's story. She didn't start ballet until she was 13, which is an age most professionals would already be years into training. But her first teacher, Cynthia Bradley, recognized something in Misty. So Cynthia didn't just train Misty, she took her into her home, gave her stability, and the kind of belief and support that changes a life. And within 4 years, Misty was dancing with American Ballet Theater. And that's what great coaches do. They see potential, pitfalls, and opportunities before you see it yourself. They can hold the vision of the next version of you until you are ready to carry it for yourself.
That's right, as you went on.
initially hesitating a little bit.
And of course, the power of coaching also lies in the mundane, the small cues, the tiny shifts that over time transform your technique, your approach, your performance into something unrecognizable from where you began. A great coach not only can spot those opportunities for improvement, but can communicate the solution or cue in a way that can be absorbed and understood.
Don't let the high note get a bunch of weight on. Yay, so yay.
Then the energy flow changes and the coach has to step back, allowing awkward trial and error, repetition, and questions to do the rest. And this two-way street of trust between a coach and their artist or athlete becomes one of the most overlooked keys to success.
I think it's probably their ability to take feedback and like want coaching. Because I coach those athletes differently sometimes. Like someone who's coming in here because they just want to like be able to play with their kids, carry grocery bags. Like I'm gonna make sure they're moving well, and I'm gonna make sure they're having fun because I want them to come back.
Yeah.
Someone who's coming in here because they want to be an elite level athlete or they want to go play their college sport. Like I'm gonna be so much more detail oriented with them. I'm also gonna be a lot harder on them. Like. Yeah. I was a college athlete, I'm like, oh, that's the weight you're gonna use? Cool, I'm gonna put 5 more pounds on your bar. So I think part of my coaching is like, I wanna know all of my athletes in and out. Like I know all my athletes' PRs, I know what they can lift, and so I'll put weight on their bar. And I think I use that depending on what I know my athletes' goals are.
Yeah.
How well does the coach know their artist and vice versa? But even deeper, how well does the athlete and the coach know themselves, their own strengths and weaknesses, their own ego, their own habits, and their own needs? So each party knows when to listen and watch, when to take the lead, and when to take ownership of the performance or product at hand.
So I've been an athlete my whole life. From a very young age, all through college, I was a college athlete, like I said, and I've had some pretty terrible coaches along the way who weren't always super understanding of like life happening outside of it. And even in the CrossFit space, I've had some really negative coaches that have like had me leave gyms. Yeah. So I was like, I don't really love this. Frankie, who is one of our coaches here, was one of my first coaches, and I'm a special athlete in the way that, like, I don't like people to be like, hey, go Lindsay, because I take it really personally and I get really down on myself. And he learned that really quickly, like how to talk to me. Yeah. And I really valued that. And I think I took that with me too, of like, everyone needs something different. Yeah. I'm a clinical therapist is what my adult job is. And so my job is to interact with people and to like read people and help people where they're at. And so I really do take that. I was like, oh, okay, that didn't work for you. Like, I'm gonna try something else next time, and like keep that in my head. So I think having like breakdowns in front of coaches and watching them and how they responded affected how I'm gonna coach.
Yeah.
And this, my fellow performers, is why it's worth taking the time to find the right coaches, teachers, and mentors for you, and not because they worked for someone else. Every great performance of an aria, a lift, or a grand leap is the result of 100 unseen relationships. We are mirrors for each other. Coaches remind us that growth is communal. It's dependent. It happens in conversation between the self and others, between discipline and trust. Because no matter how far you go, your sound, your strength, your artistry will always carry the fingerprints of the people who helped you shape it.
So one of the most impactful lessons that I still carry with me today is my high school basketball coach. We were in a very, very tight basketball game in which we ended up losing by like a point or 2 points at the last 2 seconds. And we were in the girls' locker room at the end of the game. And of course, we were all like really disappointed. And a lot of us were, blaming it as like, oh, just bad luck, or if only they had missed that last shot. And our basketball coach came into the locker room and said one of the most profound things. And he said that the basketball game wasn't lost in those last 2 seconds, but we lost the game throughout the entire game, where we made mistake after turnover, after missed shot, after missed free throw. And it really was a lesson in teaching us that every decision or every choice that we make actually matters in the long term, in the outcome. And it's still something that I even carry with me today in my singing and how I show up in practice, how I strategize in something like a CrossFit workout. And so thank you, Coach Campbell, for that really profound lesson. It's still with me today.
No one is self-made. We're all co-created through reflection, through mentorship, through the people who teach us how to see, then trust that we can follow through. So, cheers to the amazing coaches and teachers in my life and in yours that have shaped who we are today in whatever facet of life they are helping you improve. And a second cheers to the incredible feats that we will overcome together, because life is a performance and there's always more work to do.
Excellent, excellent work. 15 minutes of fun. Done. Take a second, lay on the ground, roll around, do what you need to do to let that heart rate come down. Do some quick math. When you're ready, you can walk around and give out those high fives, fist bumps, finger guns, friendly waves to somebody else who crushed that workout with you.